Let's start with some perspective. The first primary and caucus states for Democrats are Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. Now, those states account for just 4% of all delegates. That's it. Now, after Super Tuesday, it's closer to 40%. It's a big day. Now, the math of how to get the nomination is relatively simple. There are 3,979 delegates up for grabs in the primaries. Get a majority of those, the magic number there being 1991, and you have clinched the ticket. Cut, dry, full stop. But if no candidate wins that majority, set your DVR as we enter what's known as a contested convention. For some background here, we connected with U of M political science professor Larry Jacobs, who's teaching in Oxford, England. How frequent are contested conventions?
It is rare to see a contested convention. The last time we had one was 1952. There is no reality TV that's going to be better than what's going to happen at the Democratic convention if there's no winner in the first ballot. It will be wide open. There'll be debate. There'll be lots of voting. There'll be deal making behind closed doors. There'll be surprising twists and turns. This is really, glorious for political geeks.
Historically, if no single candidate has a majority after the first ballot, then it becomes political survivor. Now, all the delegates no longer have to vote for the candidate they were sent to vote for. Plus, 771 superdelegates, Congress members and DNC officials, get to vote as well now, which throws even more weight and contention into the fray. In 1924, it took 103 votes, over 17 days, to finally name Congressman John Davis as the candidate. He got trounced in the general by President Calvin Coolidge. And that's a fear of a lot of superdelegates who, according to the New York Times, are not really willing to support Senator Bernie Sanders, even if he had the most delegates of remaining candidates. If Bernie has a plurality, but not a majority, and he ends up not getting the nomination because of these votes and these deal-making in the superdelegates, have the Bernie Sanders followers been burned again?
I think there's no doubt that the Bernie Sanders supporters will be enraged if he has the most delegates but falls short of getting the majority, and then another candidate comes forward and eventually wins the nomination in a later round of balloting.
Yeah.
We have seen this before in the Democratic Party at the conventions that were contested, so it's not unprecedented, and it is allowed in the rules. Grab your popcorn. This is going to be real political drama.
As if real political drama hasn't been happening. So if you're keeping tabs on this Democratic possible contested convention, one more thing. This will be working in Senator Sanders' favor. You need at least 15% of the vote in any state to be eligible to receive delegates. And this is for the Democrats again. So while several more moderate candidates split up moderate votes, they could leave more delegates on the table for Sanders to pull through. But now there's a whole other argument with people going towards Biden, with some dropping out, that's going to help Biden pull those delegates. So who knows? Like we said, guessing game. Pick your friend John Croman's mind and tell me what you think.